The views, takes and opinions expressed on this show are of the host's own and do not represent the views, takes and opinions of the Main Event Mark, PWPH Wrestling Network and its affiliates. Material and sources mentioned in this episode is for general and commentary purposes only. This episode might include strong language and may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. Stay safe and stay wrestle everyone. Welcome to the Main Event Mark.
Yeah. So thank you for listening on your Unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. This has been your Main Event Mark Podcast. My name is Angelo Penera and thank you very much as always for listening on this show every week on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and the rest of your favorite podcast platforms. And yes, you can also listen to the show on YouTube and on other podcast platforms that you are using as soon as it's available on the platform. So, thank you very much for listening on this show. This is a new week. It means new episodes. So, today, on this part of the episode, we are going to do the review for the Elimination Chamber. And on the other episode that we are going to release later this week, it should be the AEW Dynamite review plus the Revolution predictions at saka yung predictions as well. Roadblock predictions. Ano ba yan? So yan, before we move on officially with the podcast, I hope you can support the podcast, follow the podcast on all of the social media platforms at that's Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and on other podcast platforms on Blue Sky, whatever. At the Main Event Mark PW, again, that's Main Event Mark PW on all of the social media platforms. You can also follow and support the podcast on Patreon, patreon.com/Main Event Mark PW. So, before we continue, let's also plug some stuff here. So, Dexcon is having their show upcoming, Dexcon Wrestle Storm 2. It features the main event between Yoshitatsu and Jake De Leon versus Fabio Makisig and Jomar. So, we're also getting the main event, co-main event actually. The Super Friends, El Catiponero and Super P versus Best Bros, May Suruga and Balian Aki. It's going to be an international dream matches bouts here on Dexcon Wrestle Storm 2. Also, we have Max versus Dr. Gore for the Puso Wrestling Pinoy Championship and the Wu Tag Team titles. It should be TZK versus the Bidra Bena and Aaron Liwanag. And there's a lot of bouts that we are expecting, so you can also follow and support Dexcon on all of the social media platforms at Dexcon PH. So, there's a lot of things happening also in FPW. FPW is currently determining their number one contender for the FPW Wrestling Championship. So, that's on Filipino Wrestling. We are going to find out on March 23rd sa ano na ba to? Sa ano bang venue ng FPW? I'm confused with the brand new sa FPW lately. So, that's at the scratch that. I'll just check. That's at the Bake Studios. Sorry naman. Ang tagal ko na kasi hindi nagpunta sa Bake. The first time I went to Bake was a few years ago. So, hindi ko natanda. I apologize. So, that's Bake Studios, Yakal Street, Makati City. The tickets are still available on their website sa ticket2me.net. And then, there's also details posted on FPW Facebook page and on the rest of their social media platforms. So, World Underground Wrestling is also having their upcoming show on April 5. So, that's Master Clash. And then, they teased that the Todokan is coming to Brawl Pit Bulusan on April 5, 2025. That's at Brawl Pit Bulusan as well. You can now buy the tickets at Dexcon.helixpay.ph. Again, ulitin lang natin. So, WWE is on Blast TV. So, if you want to watch your favorite content over on WWE, So that's on Blast TV. So if you want to watch that, and FPW, other content there. There's also UFC coming this weekend. So if you wanted also to watch that on Blast TV, it should be available on Blast TV app. So you just have, you just have to download the app, and yeah, you will now be able to watch UFC on Blast TV and also WWE. So that's UFC 313 on Sunday, March 9th, 7:30 a.m. That's on Premier Sports, and then on Blast TV as well. So again, that's Pereira versus Ankalev. I'm not sure if it's correct, if I mentioned it correctly. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for our stuff. And yun. Ayan, there's a lot of things happened recently, and there's a lot of also shit that we have to talk about on this podcast. So, let's talk about wrestling now. So, real wrestling this time. So, ito, Elimination Chamber. We are having a good time on Elimination Chamber. So, hindi ako nag-release ng advanced thoughts ko about Elimination Chamber for some reasons, because I wanted that to breathe on me for a few days. So that's why parang I really have to involve myself to the situation. Like there's a lot of things that needs to happen, and there's also a lot of things that we are getting, and we are needing to get that as soon as we have it. So that's Elimination Chamber 2025. There's a lot of things happen, and there's also a lot of stuff that we need to talk about for Elimination Chamber. So, the attendance is 38,000 mahigit, and yeah, that was an amazing show considering it's never advertised as a big stadium show. So, if you're asking me about it, that's a really good attendance turnout for me. Yeah, hindi naman natin in-expect that this is going to be sold out, but knowing WWE is on a spree of putting their shows sold out, so this should be no different. Pero tangin na kasi mga nasa Observer to, even yung attendance na hindi nila magawa for the past few years, ginagawa nilang katarantaduhan, and ginawa din nilang winner for their Observer Awards. So, kawawa tuloy yung AEW, because AEW never sold out recently. So, that's why in-insist nila yun. Ang problema kasi with some of the fans, kung AEW nasa situation na puro sold out palagi, panigurado they are not going to put that on that list for simple reason. Kasi that's AEW. Some AEW fans are flop flipping for sure. They are flop flicking on these things, and that's why they are dog shit to begin with. And I'm calling them dog shit because it's a fact that they are dog shit. So, Elimination Chamber. So, Countdown. Hindi ko na napanood yung Countdown because that's dog shit too. And then, there's a singer performing the United States National Anthem and the Canadian National Anthem. And I'm laughing immediately when the people booed the United States National Anthem. It might be because of Trump's stupidity recently in the States. It's not because we hate United States, for sure. For sure, that's a factor why they are booing the Syrians. And sa totoo lang naman, I find it very unnecessary because it's a show that being hosted by a United States promotion, so that makes sense why they're playing the United States anthem. And pero regardless, Trump is not doing a really good job in his country recently, so that makes sense for some people. Pero I'm not gonna tackle about that. Wala naman ako ganang problema sa wala akong pakialam sa politics ng US tsaka ng Canada kasi makalat din yung politics nila. Pero I am just laughing. I am just laughing that the people of Canada are actually self-aware of this tomfool of a president in the States named Donald Trump. Tomfool with these idiots. But yeah, regardless. But okay, so let's talk about the Elimination Chamber matches. So Pat McAfee, let's start with this guy. I don't know, but I didn't like his tirades na bakit daw binubuo yung US Tyro or US Anthem. I know you're from US, you idiot, and you're pro-Trump. But can you please try not to sal your favorite president over there? Because he doesn't care about you, man. He doesn't care. And hindi lahat ng nanonood ng WWE sa buong mundo ay may pakialam dyan kay Donald Trump. So to begin with, can we please stop bullshitting the product with Donald Trump or the politics in the States? We don't care that much about the politics in the States. Yes, there might be some people who is sucking Donald Trump's dick. But in the end of the day, we don't give a flying fuck about Donald Trump. Not everyone cares about Donald Trump to begin with. And that's a problem for some people. Kasi, tangina, ako mismo, wala akong pake kay Donald Trumpers. And yes, I'm aware of what's happening in the States. Before you criticize me on what's happening in the States, before you do to me that, ito si Angelo, walang pakalam daw sa politics ng US. No shit. I'm just not putting that on my own platform. Like, gusto kong mag-rant about this guy. Nah, I'm not gonna waste my time on Donald Trump because my algorithm says that we don't give a flying fuck about Donald Trump. So to begin with, I'm not gonna waste my time talking shit about Trump on my platform. Instead, I'm just gonna talk about the wrestling that we know. You guys came here, and I wish WWE will go the same. Because it's just disappointing that Pat McAfee on this whole show, uminit yung ulo niya just because he is ranting about the crowd in Canada talking about booing the national anthem. Like, tanga ka? Tanga ka ba? Hindi ba obvious na ang tanga-tanga ng mga nangyayari sa states ngayon? Then you're expecting that people will respect the state's anthem? No! It's just bullshit, man. Can we please stop normalizing Pat McAfee's bullshit on the programming, please? Kindly. I wish Corey Graves is on this set, to be honest. I am saying this a lot on the wrestling community, PWPH, and also sa chats namin, that it should be Corey Graves commentating this bullshit. But no, we got this tomfool Trumper commentating about the whole Elimination Chamber, ranting about Donald Trump. I hate it. Sorry, I hate it. I hate it so much. Ignorante na ako, pero I hate it. Sabi ko nga, hindi lahat ng tao may pake sa politics ng states. So can we please minimize the bullshit that's happening in the states? Not everyone cares about the Trumps. Again, I'm saying this hindi dahil apolitik ako. Sabi ko lang, hindi lahat ng tao may pake sa politics ng states. Can we please talk that on Fox News? Na alam naman natin, sumusubo ng titi ni Trump araw-araw. Can we put that on their platforms instead? And not on the WWE programming? Please, kindly. Okay, so let's talk about the Women's Elimination Chamber match now. So that's Liv Morgan, Naomi, Bailey, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Roxanne Perez. So people might know that Bianca won the chamber. And then on the first part of the match, Naomi got assaulted by Jade Cargill. Yes, Jade Cargill returned to the Elimination Chamber. And she assaulted Naomi. She assaulted Naomi like siya yung may kasalanan ng lahat na to. I love it. Pero Naomi is on the impression na, ba't mo kayo natakit ang ina? Pero the announcers noted that this might be the impression that Jade Cargill is on the impression that she is thinking that Naomi was the one who attacked her. Pero Liv laughing at Bianca like she's saying that I told you so, and she's mentioning that Liv is not the one who attacked Jade. Pero ito I'm going to say this. I said it before, I said it again. I am still into the impression that this is not the thing that I am expecting. And this is not the one that I am looking for. I am into the impression, and still into my impression, that the one who attacked Bianca is not Naomi. It's not only Naomi. And I'm saying this again for the ninth time. This is executed by both Bianca Belair and Naomi because they are frustrated that Jade Cargill stole their spotlights. All of that years, or this past year, na nangyari between those three. So I am still into the impression that Bianca is just setting up this bullshit, and we are going to find out that both of them actually attacked Jade. And it's just Naomi na parang siya lang yung naging ally sa attack na to. Pero it's both of them. And if it's Jade was assaulted by Bianca lang, then okay. Let's see how we are going to progress. Pero I am going to say this right now. If si Bianca lang ang naturo in the end, I can assure you, Naomi will side at Bianca instead of Jade. If it's Bianca only the one who assaulted her, okay. Let's see what we're going to expect in the coming weeks. But I am expecting that both of them was the one who assaulted Jade. It's not only Bianca, it's not only Naomi in this thing. Okay? And I'm not gonna blow by blow this match, but I am going to say that Roxanne Perez is the unsung hero of this match. She is amazing on this match. I hope we can see more of Roxanne down the line. And Liv, definitely, the MVP that we're expecting. And it's impressive to see that people are loving the whole match. And ako, sasabihin ko lang din that I really love the whole match, the Women's Elimination Chamber. Hindi naman ako tanga para maging self-aware of these matches. Pero let's say as it is, the match was amazing, especially with the whipping part to Liv. It's amazing as a whole. I am just disappointed that Liv lost. At this point, I am just disappointed that Liv lost the match. No, pero we know that they wanted the spotlight. We will talk about that shocking moment later. But yeah, that was unexpected that Naomi was assaulted Then now Liv lost the chamber. And we know the reason why, because everyone was sick and tired of Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at the time. Pero overall, I find it amazing. The match was amazing as a whole. And then, the parts that I liked, it was executed really well. So I am not really complaining on the whole match. No, Bianca wasn't my pick. I am really expecting Liv to win, but Bianca winning is a decision that we are expecting too. And I'm glad that Bianca didn't start the match, but technically she's almost started the match because of that assault by Jade to Naomi. Pero yeah, overall there's a lot of things happened. Liv Morgan was the MVP definitely. And then she did a really good job securing her spot on that match. And then she is working well. As in, Naomi is the MVP. Trust me, it's amazing. That was amazing as a whole. And the spot where Belair whipped Liv with her hair or braid, that was brutal too. And tangin na yung eardrums ko nabasag dahil dun. And then, it's basically Belair, Liv lang talaga. Wala namang ibang threats about this whole elimination chamber. And it really makes sense that Belair won aside from Liv. Kasi yung iba naman, hindi naman nag-factor. Bakit kailangan manalo ni Naomi? Bakit kailangan manalo ni Lexi, ni Roxanne, ni Bayley? Wala. It's basically Bianca and Jade. Bianca and Liv. If people are sick and tired of Liv versus Rhea, then definitely we got Belair versus Rhea. But not anymore. Basically. Okay. So for sure, may impression pa rin naman ako that if Io did not beat Rhea Ripley, but obviously she did, it was fun. Parang naman ang ina-expect ko down the line. Ba? It's still impressive. Okay. So, next match, it's TV Dime, Trish Stratus, and baliktad. Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. So, in this match, eto medyo nakatulog ako, I admit. The match doesn't have any direction. It's just a hometown match for Trish. And the match that we need to see from TV as a face. So, wala naman ako ganong feedback about this match. Trish is amazing. She can still compete on a match. That's for sure. And Bianca, or Tiffy, I would say, is amazing as well. And I hope that she can take Charlotte Flair seriously next month at WrestleMania. So, the only thing that we need now is to solve the rivalry between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. So, therefore, we can get a proper finish for this whole thing. No? Before she go to the main event between Charlotte and Tiffy. That's it. I'm not gonna give a longer thought about that. Sorry. But yeah, that was amazing. Okay. So the attendance again, it's 30,493 in the whole attendance. So yeah, that's the attendance there. Okay, so it's time for the third match. Sorry, I'm fixing my mic. Okay, it's time for the unsanctioned match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So this might be pangilang match na ba ito ng dalawang to? I'm curious. Pangilang match na ba ito ni Sami at ni Keo on their rivalry? Hindi ko na mabilang. People are trying to count it, but they couldn't at this point. Ayun, so the match, they're starting to change or exchange punches to start the match. And the match was a little bit different for the Lightning. When it comes to the Lightning, I like it. Medyo, ano siya, change of direction then when it comes to the lights. And not gonna lie, mas gusto ko yung gantong Lightning compared with the standard Lightning that we are getting on the premium live event. So I hope we can get more of that sooner than later. And then, like what I said, the Lightning was a little bit different on this whole match as a whole. And then, I like it. So, sana masundan pa to ng ganito ka dilim na match. I'm not gonna do play-by-play on this match, but overall, this whole match is just amazing. Holy crap. I cannot believe that everyone on this match, everyone in this match, I find it amazing, and I think that was a really good job on putting this match over. And then, as in, it was taken like a bout, but it's really a fight, and I love it. And then, Kevin and Sammy, sa alam natin na magko-communicate sila really well. If it's allies or enemies, we know that these two people will complement on each other, and it works every time that these two people are beating each other when it comes to this type of matches. And we got near 30 minutes for this classic, and it's amazing. As in, I like that this match was a slow-paced match. Sure, that was very slow, so totoo lang. And that for sure puts the possession. That's been a rabid match for sure. I like the fact that Sami Zayn is trying to be impatient with Kevin Owens, and then they are trying to sell that neck bumps really well. Then Kevin Owens is a big savage of a heel for sure. And then like what we are mentioning, both of those people or these people are doing their really good job on setting this match for us. And I think that every time they're going to give us a reason why these two are fighting each other, it's amazing to me that we have this incredible match that we never saw on the programming before. I know that we have seen a lot of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn matches, but in WWE, in my honest opinion, this might be their best match. Sa akin lang, at least. When it comes to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fighting like cats and dogs every time that they're fighting, I think this might be the best match of their series of matches in WWE, to be honest. And I am just trying to tell you guys that the match between those two are bangers every time you see them. Walang tapon eh. As in, walang tapon. If you see those people competing like in a match that we are never seen, that's going to be a banger for sure. No? And, yun nga, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, Kevin and Sami are friends or best of friends. So we know how these things will be delivered on us for sure. After the match, Randy Orton made his return on the television. It's the first time for a while, and he gave him a RKO, and then the crowd popped. As in, the crowd popped. And then, ito na yung perfect time to see him return for WrestleMania, and definitely we're getting Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. So, technically, they wrote Sami Zayn out of the picture due to Ramadan. And then Ramadan is technically falling. Hindi, ang alam ko matatapos yung Ramadan during Mania weekend. So, yeah, that's the case. So that's why we are not going to see Sami Zayn down the line. And then di rin naman in-acknowledge si Drake. They didn't acknowledge Drake. That's apparently simping over Liv Morgan for the past few days. Yun. So, wala naman akong comment masyado. So, that's amazing. Good to hear. And, yeah. Cannot wait to see more of people sucking on suckers. Ayan. Yun lang naman. I'm not gonna talk about it that much when it comes to this match. Okay. So, main event time. The winner of the the winner of the match will earn a title shot at WrestleMania to face Cody Rhodes in the main event. So that's Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest versus Logan Paul versus CM Punk versus John Cena. So yeah, that's the field that we have. I'm not gonna do play-by-play again, but the match, I would say, umikot ito sa obsession ni Drew kay Punk. Kaya tinake advantage siya ni Damian Priest, and then Priest hits a Claymore on Damian, or Drew hits a Claymore on Damian Priest, and then Logan Paul takes advantage of the situation, and then obviously Logan Paul eliminated Damian. And then definitely Drew will face Damian Priest at WrestleMania. And I don't really mind that, to be honest, because both of them are on the horizon, and I don't really necessarily hate the idea of Drew versus Priest kasi tagal din na lang sa picture, and both of them are on top feuds last year. So on this match, I don't really mind that they are on the picture. So we have the CM Punk elimination, or sorry, the Logan Paul elimination by Punk, GTS, and then we have the final three: Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and John Cena. And then they're trying to work on Punk, and then Rollins is trying to, parang inaamboy niya in a way itong dalawa, and then Cena punches Rollins, Punk punches Seth, and then Punk punches Cena. And then the commentary, really good job to me that they mentioned that they have 26 world titles and 16 of that is on Cena. And that's amazing, to be honest. And then nag-double team sila. Punk hits GTS on Rollins, and then Cena hits the AA on Rollins, and then Punk covered Seth for the elimination. And then we have the final two: Cena and Punk, both baby faces on this match. And then open pa yung structure. Nagkataka ako bakit open pa yung structure, but that's the direction pala that we are waiting here. So the structure again is still open, and then Seth Rollins gave a AA. Oh, sorry, Punk is trying to counter the AA ni Cena, and then he went to STF. Punk kicked Cena away, and Rollins gave Punk the stomp on the padded area outside the ring. So Cena gave Punk the STF, and Punk passed out to that, while Rollins is shouting, "Die, die, die." Okay, so let's summarize the match. The match was outstanding. Sa totoo lang. The Elimination Chamber match was outstanding. And those three coups, Cena, Punk, and Rollins, really elevated the whole thing. Then, Punk and Rollins, they did a really good job on selling their feud. For sure. We never expected that they're going to continue their feud because some people are mentioning that, okay, they're going to end the feud on Netflix, but no. Then, I think Drew and Priest, they saw their own thing for sure, and then Logan Paul is there goofing around on the other. I still like the Logan Paul promo before Elimination Chamber when he goofed on Cena. And then for sure Roman is going to be involved on the situation between Rollins and Punk. So we're going to talk about that pro later on the pod as well, this part of the pod. And then Cena winning the thing really makes the point, no? Kasi they already teased it at the Royal Rumble that Cena is going to be the one who will not qualify in any way on this chamber match. So it really makes sense. And then Cody Rhodes made his appearance with the undisputed title. And then they shook hands officially. So the match was made official for WrestleMania. And here we go. The Rock made his appearance with Travis Scott. The song is a little bit weird. I like Fane, but the mix with The Rock's theme song, I don't find it makes sense. But okay, let's take it slide. Then we have the custom belt WWE gave to Travis Scott with the hardcore title design on it. And then The Rock. Tang ina. Sa tenga. Lagi niyang ginagawa yun. Nauurat ako. That goosebumps. Goosebumps. That goosebumps every time. And pinapakita na lang yung tattoo niya na in my opinion pumangit. Okay. So they joined the ring with with Cody and Rhodes. And then Cena is on the background. So basically it's a Cody and Rock talk. Then nilagay ulit ni Rock yung kamay niya sa mukha ni Cody. And then he went straight to the business. So Rock told Cody that the moment has arrived. And then inulit niya lang yung stipulation that if Rock will come to him and embrace him as his brother, and The Rock will embrace Cody as his champion. The Rock wants Cody's mind, soul, and God had mercy, he needs Cody's soul. And then that if yes, yung sagot ni Cody, he will live forever. And if it's no, then the dream dies again. Sobrang diin ng WWE when it comes to the visuals of Cody's soul. Tapos yung yung pagbibisual nila when it comes to the American Dream and American Nightmare thing. So, nagbigay din sila ng tribute basically kay Dusty. So, that's a good detail for sure. And I love that they're visualizing stops there. Then, Cody looked around at Cena and looked at the crowd. And Cody said, Rock, I want it all, Rock. My soul is no longer belongs to me. And you know why? because I gave my soul to this ring and these people a long time ago. And everyone cheered on that, for sure. And ito na yung exclamation point that Cody mentioned. That Cody mentioned a long time ago. And now, he mentioned it again. Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. That's wild. As in, everyone popped on that arena. That was an amazing spot. As in, that was a really good moment. That was a solid moment for sure. And definitely, people will remember this spot for a very, very, very long time. For sure. A lot of people will remember this for a long, long time. Ito. Yung favorite ko. Ito yung favorite ko.
Hey, Rock! Go fuck yourself!
Boom! Sino pa siguro dito nang pagkasabi niya, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. And here's the amazing part, man. Here's the amazing part. They didn't blip it on the broadcast. That's interesting. And we are really on the new era of WWE. And McAfee said, what? Ito. Okay, so ito yung interesting that I am still laughing also that si Travis Scott nagsisindi lang sa gilid while everything is happening real time. Nagsisindi lang siya doon sa gilid like it's a sage. Nagsisindi siya doon ng weeds. I'm not sure if it's weeds. It's sage. Okay, so it's sage. Not really weed, but it's a direct weed. Basta. Yun. Nagsindi siya doon ng weed. And then, here's the part that we are looking for. So, John Cena walked over to Cody Rhodes and then he shook his hand. And then, this Cena, habang niyakap ni Cena si Cody, then, here comes The Rock. He did the throat slash. That was amazing as hell, man. That was amazing as hell, man. That throat slash is the go signal for Cena to strike Cody Rhodes. And that's it. John Cena turned heel. Kicks him in the balls. And then Cena picked up the watch that actually Rock gave to Cody a year ago. And then he hits him with it. And then the commentary thought that was a brass knucks that we know part of Cena's history in wrestling as Doctor of Economics. And then Cena hits Cena hits him a couple times for sure with that watch. And then wala nga, hindi nakagalaw dun si Cody for sure. And then Cena hits him with the microphone. And then I think Cody did a really good job on setting up to the assault, as in na parang okay, Cena na talaga yung top heel of the company and Cody is the face, the top baby face of the company. And now that was amazing, as in and then Cena hits Cody with the WWE title on his head, and I'm glad that they did not blip that or did not cut that, kasi yung mga hit nila dati ng titles to the head, they are blipping that. And then Cody is already bleeding from that assault. He did a really good job for that. And then Cena hits him with the Tyro again. And then he taunted the crowd. And the fans are booing. Like Michael Cole, even on the commentary, is saying that why does he need to sell out? And then he posed with the WWE title. And that was amazing as fuck. Cody is bleeding already. As in. And then Cena ripped Cody's shirt and he choked Cody with his tie. We know the history of that choking. I love it. And then Cole also mentioned that after everything that he has done with this business, he has to stood to his shit. You gotta be kidding me. This is absolutely ridiculous. And ginatungan lang siya ni Wade that it was Cody's choice. And if you're watching the clip on social media na kumalat, that the commentary, specifically Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, they are the ones who is ranting about this whole assault. And then Wade Barrett, he didn't flinch because he knows that it will work. He know that it works. He know it will work for sure. That's why he didn't flinch. And then everyone is cheering on Cena and also booing on Cena. And then Cena held Cody by his legs, and then The Rock took off the leather belt that Cody stole that we were mentioning earlier. And yes, Cena and The Rock loves visual aids, so that's why it works. And then nilagay ulit nila yung death ni Dusty on that belt, and then Rock hits Cody hard with that belt. And then again, sumindi ulit si Travis ng Sage. I am still into the impression that's weed. And then all of those three people side by side standing on that ring, and then the three of them left. Cody or Rock get some of that blood from his forehead and whipped it back on the belt just like last year. And then Cody was whipped again with that belt, and then that's it. And then every of those groups are shocked on what happened. And then The Rock and Cena smeared on their faces. And that's amazing as fuck. Before you start on me talking about the belt, bago nyo umpisahan dyan, mamaya tayo mag-umpisa sa ranting ko. Before you start on me talking about Travis Scott's appearance here, that dami nag-critic kay Travis Scott dito eh. Gusto kong gisahin tayo before we go to my aftermath thoughts. Sorry. Kinakikot throw yung drink ko. So, people are criticizing Travis Scott na ba't siya dito sa appearance na to. This such an amazing moment. I don't think we need Travis Scott. And Travis Scott actually did a really good job on selling it. Like Dennis Rodman. It's amazing to me. And then, yun nga. Mamagrant na ako. Gusto ko na ba Okay. So, Cena is now a heel after 20 years. It was declared also on the Guinness World of Records as the most longest reign as a face in WWE history. And then, yes, John Cena is now a heel, and I can't believe on what we are seeing. I mentioned on my live on the podcast and also on Ivan's live sa TikTok a few days ago, I said that Cena turning heel is a long term booking for sure. And ang dami na nating pinag-usapan about that. And I am saying that the turn was amazing. And then after of that decline ni Cody, sinabi ko naman din to ng predictions episode ko that Cena is going to be the one who will accept the offer. If it's not Punk, it's Cena. Definitely. And that's what happened. And I feel bad for the kids. I feel bad for the kids for sure. Because pro wrestling is, of course, bringing out the emotions of everyone. Sorry about that. I have to drink. Kasi haba pa itong tirade ko. So, the moment that we're waiting for has arrived. And we got it. We got this amazing moment during Cena's final year in the company. And that's amazing. Cannot wait to see more of that. And we really wanted to see a Cena heel and a Cody as a babyface. So that's amazing as well. Okay. So hindi ko alam kung ano yung sasabihin ko. Nung una, hindi ko alam. Because I really wanted to enjoy the moment. Because that's the moment that we are waiting for since that Hulk Hogan turn on WCW. So that's amazing as well. And gaya nga ng sinasabi natin palagi dito, and other content creators are saying this, pro wrestling is bringing out the emotion of everyone. So, and kids, of course, life is full of happiness and of course disappointment. For sure, everyone will be okay if Cena won his 17th title. And I'm just saying here, pag tumanda kayo, maintindihan nyo rin why Cena turned as a heel. And then, it was a monumental history when it comes to the WWE as well. So, itong part na to, you know, it's very massive. If you're thinking how hot the WWE right now, from the TNA partnership to NXT, showing us bangers every week, to CM Punk versus Rollins, to the Bloodline storyline, to this moment, and also TV time being over, many more. There's a lot of moments that we need to be shocked. And then, some people might think about this as a top heel turn that we have all time. So, in this case, yes, we got what we wanted. So, that's the turn. And I'm still into the impression that Cena is also turning face before we end the year. And I am really still into the impression that Cena is turning face before we end the year. Then, again, ito yung mga moments na alam kong hindi natin makakalimutan. Lahat tayo as in. Hindi natin malilimutan to. How? Nalimutan ko nga na may AEW ngayon because of this. And I'll talk about AEW the next episode, by the way. So, Travis Scott. People are criticizing Travis Scott because of his appearance here. I find it weird at first, but it really makes sense to sell Travis Scott para mababad trip ka lalo. So that works. And then, some people might not look into Travis Scott mainly, but that's cool to all of us, no? And hindi naman siya nagbabother sa akin, as someone who is fan of hip hop. for sure hindi siya nakakabahala. Basta I think WWE is doing their part to sell the event for everyone, mainly the younger audience. So that really makes sense to me. And then yun nga, on their press con, ito na naman si The Rock. The Rock, ito, napakinggan ko yung episode ni Jim Cornette on his podcast where The Rock is trying to sell this thing like it's a movie. Yes, we're trying to present things as a story, like a movie. I get that. And then The Rock is stating that this was all part of a long-term story going back to when he was at Bad Blood in October last year, and when he was at the Raw Netflix premiere to start the year. Do I believe it? Maybe. I would say maybe. And then some fans might think it's a lie, and then they have changes down the road. Hindi natin alam kung ano nga ba yung magiging plano with Cena turning heel as a whole, pero hindi nga ba ako dapat magulat with Cena's turn. It's being planned for a while now. Hindi na rin ako magugulat yan because Sean Rossap, Dave Meltzer, other people who is trying to give a spin about this, I am not gonna be convinced on that for sure. When it comes to this story, ako lang magsasabi na to. You have to believe directly on the mouths of H or The Rock. Kasi kung naman yung masabi nila Sap dito or ni Meltzer na hindi naman nanood ng Elimination Chamber at instead nanood ng Collision na walang kwenta. This is a monumental moment. Sinasabi natin to palagi. This was a monumental moment that people will never forget until the next century or the next 10 years for sure, kundi century. And then maganda rin naman sa atin, or it's a smart thing that WWE is not sharing it with the others because they might ruin the plan and it might spoil them. Because The Rock, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and everyone needs to be praised on how they were able to execute this thing, and that was amazing. I wish we never got this press cons. Ito akin lang daw pero I don't want to see The Rock ever again explaining why they have to do this, why we have to do this. Rock is making the story pointless, promise. The Rock is trying to sell us bullshit, and it shows that it's bullshit. We know it's bullshit. And then eto, last thing that we need to address here. Itong show na to, it was amazing as a whole. Pero the turn pa lang ni John Cena literally shocked or shocked everyone from their veins, and people might watch wrestling again for the next few years, at least a few months, just because of Cena turning heel. And fans might forgot Revolution that mangyayari na this Monday, Manila time. And there's a lot of events also na nangyari doon, diba? Ito na nga. May pinost ako sa Facebook that suggesting that instead of WrestleMania 41, we should see the title change at SNME instead, or Saturday Night's Main Event. I'll explain my take on that. No? So, if WWE is really taking advantage of putting Cody Rhodes as the face of WWE, we really need to see Cody beating Cena at WrestleMania. That's the proper booking that we need to see from this direction of the storyline. Hindi man siya maka-gain ng traction, But it makes sense because of the direction that we have for Cody. Does Cena needs the 17th based on this angle? Yes, definitely. And it would really make sense to see Cena having this belt. Something like this. And we should see this down the line. Ako lang ang magsasabi that we need to see Cena beating Cody at WrestleMania. Ito, sabihin ko if Cena needs to capitalize it at WrestleMania, then they should pull the trigger of Cody losing to Cena at WrestleMania. But if they're looking to capitalize Cody as the face of WWE, since Roman was beaten by Cody last year at WrestleMania, then they should do the same thing on John Cena. And then Cena will do his revenge down the line. Especially, there's also a lot of Saturday night's main event that we're thinking. Yes, people might be upset about it because sasabay dito yung mga AEW shows. Like Double or Nothing is set on November or May 25th, and then yung All in Texas July. So people might be upset about that. Pero if WWE really wanted to push some buttons there, that's the perfect move to go. And then I am really excited for sure on how this direction will go when it comes to the road to WrestleMania. And that's a perfect way to shock or to shake the system of the WWE right now. That's a perfect way to start a new era for sure. No? Yan. So that's Elimination Chamber. Like what we said, overall the show was amazing. The angle with Cena attacking Cody to align with The Rock. And that was brilliant as hell. And then, ito yung mga angles for sure that hindi siya usual. Pero, if you know or if you follow the direction of the product in WWE, for sure, they're going to take advantage of that for the rest of the whole year. And WWE did a really good job on that. Actually, I am recording this episode on a Thursday, and we're still talking about this rather than the AEW thing. It's funny, yes, but that's the reality. To be honest, the matches wise, I'm going to say that the men's and women's elimination chamber matches were great, and I find it equal when it comes to the finishes and the whole results of the matches. I find it equal. Sa totoo lang. And then the Owen Sami Zayn match was top notch. Very amazing. Sa totoo lang. I think the match that we got from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, that's the best match for sure. And then the Elimination Chamber matches, I like the women, I like the men too. This might be the best women's Elimination Chamber match in my opinion. And this might be the best Elimination Chamber for the men for a while now. From Rollins screwing Punk to set their match at Mania. The women's chamber match with the story between Bianca and Jade. And definitely that assault to Naomi. And then the women's tag. Let's not talk about that. I love Tiffany Stratton stood out on that match alone. Ayan. So, that's it for the PLE. Eto na lang. So, I'm going to rate the PLE. This overall PLE gets a solid 9 for me. Nagpababa lang talaga nito was the Tiffy match. I love Tiffany, but that's the rating that I am gonna give for this whole thing. that we really love personally. And to be honest, that was a fair rating, sa totoo lang. 9, because yeah, it's still amazing. It's the whole PLE is still amazing, sa totoo lang. And the whole show was great. The thing was great. Everything was great here on this show as a whole. And then okay, that's it. And overall, the whole show, I think WWE did a really good job on that for sure. So yeah, that's it muna for this week's episode of the podcast. I hope you can follow and support the pod on all of the social media platforms on the main event, Mark PW. Also, you can also support us at patreon.com/main event Mark PW. Ayun, we're going to come back here on the pod. We're going to talk about AEW Revolution and the whole week in wrestling on that episode. With that note, thank you very much again for listening on the Main Event Mark Podcast. Pasensya na, hindi ko na nasama yung ibang segments for this week. We're going to discuss that on the next episode of the pod. For now, again, my name is Angelo Penner from the Main Event Mark. Stay safe and always stay wrestle. See you on the next episode.